Hello everyone and welcome to a book talk. I do look different. I am actually wearing some makeup today and there is a purpose to this. I thought it would be fun to maybe do some makeup and theme it with the cover of the book of the edition that I read. You'll be seeing the edition that I read here. I have actually since unhauled this book. For me it was okay. There were a lot of similarities to the COVID issue going on, but yeah, so for this one we are following mostly Steeman, who works for the CDC. Now the cover that you're seeing is black, so the one that I saw was black with red and white letterings, and I did little blood drops there, so the red signifies blood. This particular one revolves around a very contagious blood disease, and it's pretty much a 100% you are gonna die. Now there are, well, I should say 99%, because there are a few people that do survive this disease, but for the most part people die. And Stephen works at the CDC with Merrick, and they are called to go to a place in, I believe it was Africa, where this plague started, and they draw blood, they do testing on the blood to try and see what it is, see how, is it airborne, is it passed by bodily fluids, is it, they're doing what they need to do to test it and all of that. And in the meantime, people are losing their minds with hallucinating and having auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations and all of this stuff, and are wasting away to the point that they are dying. So they decide, which you do learn this within like the first 1 or 2 chapters, they basically decide to bomb this little town in Africa to try to prevent it from leaving. But what they don't know is that quote-unquote patient 0 has left before this could happen, and then it gets passed to someone who is doing some research there in the woods of Africa or in the forests of Africa, and then when he goes home it just passes and multiplies and evolves, and more people die. It is, so we think we had it bad with COVID, but with this particular one it was much worse. So that is the story. This is an adult horror novel, and they are just trying to, they have some, like, there are these people that they are watching, and then these people that they're watching start to be murdered. And so they have this alongside trying to figure out why are they being targeted and hunted, these people, in addition to trying to stop the spread of this disease. And it just goes from there. They're trying to figure all that out, trying to protect these people that they're watching, and again, stop this disease from spreading. So that is the story. This is a standalone. It was published in 1998. As I did say, this is an adult horror, and for the most part, it is told in first person. There are a few chapters, particularly when it comes to Merrick's point of view, that it does switch to third person. There was an audiobook available when I read this book. It is narrated by Gordon Thompson. It was 6 hours and 33 minutes. Now, I will give this word of warning. Do not physically read the book or the ebook, I guess depending on the edition that you are reading, but I would say be very cautious with it, because when I was listening to the audiobook, there were like pages that were omitted compared to the physical book that I was reading. So for the edition that I was reading, there were pages missing, there were paragraphs missing. So there were some major differences. And so to be reading along and then all of a sudden the narrator is speaking on something that you're not reading, and I have to go and hunt to find it ahead, whether it's a paragraph or 2 versus a page or 2. So I would highly recommend not reading them together. Even if you are one to alternate between the two, I would not do that, as again, with the amount of stuff that can be omitted from it, it could very well get confusing at times. So definitely proceed with caution if that is the case. So that is what the book is about. Now, What are your content and your trigger warnings? Well, this is a horror novel, and where this deals with sickness, you have sickness described on page. So if you are one that gets very queasy with sickness being described, especially where the body is dying and how it's like muscles are atrophying and people are so sick they're not hungry, so they're wasting, they're like losing a bunch of weight, and then all this other stuff, boils, lesions and things like that. Definitely skip this one. So, and the other thing with this one, there was a lot of medical terminology to the point that I almost didn't understand some of the stuff, but some of it was described in a way that it was like, okay, I get where they're kind of going with this, but there's a lot of medical terminology. So with this being a horror and about sickness, you do have body horror. You also have suicide described on page, so definitely please be aware of that. As far as your representation, some of this was just mentioned. There were brief mentions of some different skin tones, so black, brown, a bunch of stuff, but it was just very, very much glossed over. It was not a big part of this story or anything like that. Again, the focus is on the sickness. You do have someone mentioned, and I thought this was really cool, mentioned that they have, I think it's called vitiligo, so someone that is born, maybe that is born with black skin, but they start to lose pigmentation in certain areas of their skin, so they'll have white or peach patches over their body. You also have endometriosis mentioned, as well as claustrophobia, and someone mentioned who is blind. So you have a couple of different things as far as diversity in this going forward. Now, so that's pretty much, that's all of the representation, and that's your content and your trigger warnings. So now, in case you're still on the fence, let me tell you the words that are used in case this will help either convince you to avoid this book or go ahead and pick it up. So we have the following words. We have the word or the name of Christ one time, not in religious context. You have the word God 7 times, not in religious context. Nipple once, orgasm once. The word God 5 times, used in religious context. Helaba 1 time, damn once, hell once. The word Lord once, not in religious context. The word suicide 4 times, anorexic once, the name Jesus once, used in religious context. The word Christ once, used religiously. You have the word rape 1 time, rapist once, shit once, piss once, balls once. And one note I do have here is you do also have a representation I did forget to mention, is you also do have a little bit of plus size representation in this. And that is The Blood Artists by Chuck Hogan. Now, I'm going to pull this up on Goodreads and see if there is an about the author. Okay, so there's like two or three sentences. It says, Chuck Hogan is an American author. His story 2000 Volts appeared in the Best American Mystery Stories 2009. He is the co-author of the Strain trilogy with Guillermo del Toro. His 2004 novel Prince of Thieves was adapted into film as the Ben Affleck directed The Town in 2010. And that's literally all it says. So I really couldn't tell you anything about the author. So definitely let me know if you have read The Blood Artists by Chuck Hogan, and if you have read it, what did you think about it? If you have read anything else by Chuck Hogan, definitely let me know if you've liked it or not, and is this author's writing for you? For me, this is one I would have to give a second chance to, but I'm definitely intimidated moving forward, as The Blood Artists was just not for me personally. So I go into this with a little bit, into this another book from this author with a little bit of trepidation, but I'm not completely writing this author off from my list of authors to pick up. So yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts. Also let me know, what did you like me doing the makeup to try to match the theme of the book? If you guys did, I will keep it up. If not, I will definitely stop. So definitely let me know your thoughts on that as well. And talk to me in the comment sections below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.